Well, Super Bowl 55 went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Mr. Tom Brady. You see him right there. Brady celebrating his 7th championship. We had the wild boat parade. Typically, shortly after, though, Super Bowl champs lose a handful of core pieces while they're still celebrating. But that is not exactly the case in Tampa. The Bucs bringing back every notable title piece. Take a look at this list. Chris Godwin, he was franchise tagged, although limited in practice yesterday with a quad injury as they get ready to play this game on Thursday night. But you got Rob Gronkowski, Ndamukong Suh, Antonio Brown, Shaq Barrett, Levante David, Fournette. You have to go all the way back to the 1977 Raiders to find a Super Bowl champion that returned all 22 of its starters. As we welcome in our Jason La Canfora, so JLC, we are ready for Thursday night, kicking it off with the Super Bowl champ Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How were the Bucs able to bring everyone back? They're just keeping that team together.
Well, look, it's a soft cap, and I know that there's a lot of teams that don't want to spend up to it or close to it, who in any given year would have you believe that the cap is so prohibitive and such a problem. And yes, last year was unlike any other in that due to the pandemic, not only did it not rise as projected, it fell. But it's a soft cap. You can go over it. You can go over it by extremes, just depending on how you structure contracts. But in terms of your actual payroll, the graphic that we had up there, a lot of those guys, Gronk, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, where else are they really going? You know what I mean? So veteran guys who want to be with Brady, who were a good fit there. Who weren't going to have to break the bank. The key was Shaq Barrett. When they were able to get Shaq Barrett done to a long-term deal that allowed them to put the franchise tag on the receiver, and from there things just kind of fell in place. Guys wanted to be there, but hats off to the Glazers. They have endured plenty of criticism in the past for how they've run the Bucs or how they've run Manchester United. But they were committed to spending to keep this team together. Tom Brady, as we know, generally plays for less money than he's technically worth. Others tend to follow that paradigm. And they, on paper at least, should be a better team than they were last September because they're not dealing with the learning curves and all the change and newness and scheme and system and fit and learning each other. And they had a full training camp and preseason. So, again, hats off to ownership, hats off to GM Jason Light. He had a big cash budget, and he used it.
Yeah, the prior team's Super Bowl champions, 13-3 in NFL kickoff games since 2004. Brady even came out and said he's excited to see what this team is capable of now that they have that year under their belt. So Tampa, they're facing off against the Dallas Cowboys, and we know all eyes are going to be on Dak Prescott coming off that ankle injury from last season, the shoulder strain during camp. So I got a question for you. Are you more concerned about Dak's shoulder or his mobility?
I'm more concerned about the shoulder. The ankle's had a long time to heal. In fact, he did less than what was originally expected in camp and the preseason games because of the shoulder. I like what I've seen of him. You watch him in Hard Knocks doing footwork, agility drills, running through the ladders, scrambling right, scrambling left, throwing on the run. The shoulder came up out of nowhere. The shoulder really cast a pall over their preseason to some degree, and that's something that can be easily aggravated. And do we need to keep him on a pitch count in practices? And then obviously that's limiting what you can do as an offense. He's going to throw the ball a ton. It's what he does for a living. You need a healthy shoulder to be able to do that. And again, that's the more recent injury. That was the one that didn't have as much time to heal before the regular season. And that's the one that can be a lot trickier than an ankle that was surgically repaired, 10 months ago.
Yeah, so regardless of what happens, I'm sure Dallas is just thankful to have their quarterback that leads the NFL in pass yards per game over the past 2 seasons back, but that shoulder is definitely concerning. Now, the Cowboys, they haven't made the NFC Championship in the last 25 years. So how much pressure is on Mike McCarthy this season? Give me a scale of 1 to 10.
I don't know about a numeric value, but it's high. I mean, it's somewhere in the 8 to 10 range. You have to go back to how this team is put together. Jerry Jones is involved in every aspect of roster building. He is, in essence, the GM. No one is on that roster who he doesn't want there. No one is making big money on that team he doesn't want to make big money. And again, if you watched any of Hard Knocks, especially the last couple episodes, as you're seeing the team come together and guys getting cut and Jerry watching practices after they're down to the 53 from his office above, he loves his team every year. He put it together. If there's problems with the Dallas Cowboys, if the pieces don't fit, if it's not manifesting itself the way we scripted it on game day, if we're not getting enough out of the players, it's not the players, it's the coach. I mean, that's been the rub there for a long time, since the fallout with Jimmy Johnson. So every Dallas coach is inherently on the hot seat because of the construct of the organization. And in this case, with the $40 million quarterback coming off of the injury and then having another injury with the offensive line maybe getting a little long in the tooth and not quite what it used to be, with there's still questions from the outside world about the defense. I know Jerry thinks he's fixed them, but Jerry's evaluation of his product does not always mesh with reality or how the rest of the league views it. This is a team that still looks to have considerable warts, but in the eyes of the owner in that division, why not us? It should be us. So we'll see how it all plays out. Obviously, Prescott's health will be paramount. But, yes, this is a pivotal year, too, for that coaching staff.
I love when you get fired up first thing in the morning. All right, Dallas 13-4 in the regular season against the Buccaneers, winning 7 of the last 8 games. We will see what happens on Thursday night. JLC, thank you so much for joining us. And if you're looking for your daily fix of NFL news and analysis, look no further than the Pick 6 podcast. Our guys getting you up to speed each day in about 30 minutes and what's trending in the NFL world. The latest episode, what's next for Cam Newton? That's a good question. Listen and subscribe today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.